sir.
I'll call the meeting of the Hamlin Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The AED machine is right outside the door. The exits are each end of the building. Please turn off all cell phones and pagers. Would the clerk please call the roll call?
Carl Ross,
Here.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Here.
Jonathan Vogler.
Here.
Rob Westcott.
Here.
With Ed Hay excused.
Okay, the first thing we'll do is approval of the June minutes.
I would like to make an amendment to the, oh, I'm sorry.
You weren't there.
No, I'm sorry.
I didn't say I was late, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, Jensen.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for, the June meeting.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made by Jonathan Vogler, seconded by Rob Westcott to approve the June minutes. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Ross,
Abstain?
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler,
Aye.
Rob Westcott.
Aye.
The motion's carried. Minutes are approved. Okay, now we need the approval of the July 20th, 2026 minutes.
I'll make a motion for those minutes to amendment for striking the approval of the June minutes at that meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion's been made by Carl Ross, seconded by Rob Westcott to approve the July minutes. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Ross,
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler,
Abstain.
Rob Westcott.
Motion carried. Hopefully these minutes don't get as complicated in the future. Would the clerk please show the proof of publication for the public hearings tonight?
This is what was in the West Side News. There were 2 public hearings for tonight.
Okay, Michael Schwartz, that's the correct pronunciation?
Yep.
Would you please come up to the lectern there and present the board what you would like to do?
No, I'm pretty sure I got it. Looking for approval for, build a 40 by 64 pole barn in my property. Looking for a 5-foot setback variance. So a total of 10 feet off the west side property line. Looking for a variance. Looking for 16-foot side. Sure that I had a buffer. I'm not sure what that might be. I think it should be around 24. But I'll make sure I get it covered.
Okay, questions from the board? What? Now, when you have it staked out there, and that's a large building for the area, is there any reason it couldn't be farther to the south?
So when you build a structure, pretty much anything behind the barn is useless. So I would like to be able to use as much of my yard as I can, so I'd like to push it back.
Okay, because we have a little bit of familiarity with that area and its drainage issues.
So my intention is to actually reroute the drainage ditch around the back of the barn.
How would you do that?
How?
Yeah. Just swale it out or pipe it?
Yeah, I would, put a new swale in it and, pipe around my barn. The adjacent properties, I've already talked to them. So they have water issues too, that had always complained about. And I would cut a swale right through their properties, through mine, around the back of the barn, and continue it on to the east side property like it does now.
Is that what this picture?
Yes, the dark shade in the back.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That picture right there?
Yep.
So the idea is that the barn goes here, it's well, we just,
It'll just get moved back. So it'll still connect here where,
the idea is to change this intersection.
yeah,
Could you show me on this map?
You guys-
so that's the ditch right now.
Right,
So the plan is to move this back and just basically square it up, so it still drains off on that side.
then isn't this like a swale too?
No, there's no swale here.
How, where does your leach field get in here? Okay, so that is my factory back here then.
There's nothing back there.
Okay, then how come you want it 10 feet here instead of the 15?
So I could put a door on this backside, so I'm able to swing the trailer. I'm using it for storage.
Right,
So
and
I gotta be able to get trailer in there, trailer and trucks. It's a narrow piece of property, I'm trying to do the best I can.
right, because it's only, what were the dimensions here, one back?
The back piece of the property is 93 feet.
So you're going to alter the natural swale,
Well, it's not natural, it's built with it in 7 feet.
well, the swale that's in there, have you had it engineered by a professional engineer?
No.
You really can't change swales and drainage unless you have a professional engineer to make sure that it works, because the minute you change it and it doesn't work, you're going to, affect your neighbor's properties.
Mhm.
And that becomes a huge lawsuit.
So,
It should be professionally engineered so that the water runs the way it's supposed to. I'm gonna guess that when that subdivision was put in, that the swale was put in there for a reason.
so suggesting is moving the barn south of that swale, then, not even touching it.
If you're not gonna interfere with the swale, then you don't have to worry.
That's why I was asking about moving the barn south, because Carl and I were discussing that, because it doesn't look like it'd have to come very far south to avoid that situation.
Right.
And we've had some other variances in that area, so we know, I guess we're semi-familiar with how wet it is that the right word? Other questions from the board? Okay, I'll open up the public hearing. Please state your name and address before you speak, please. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Yes,
Lon Olshu, owner of 2924 Church Road,
2924, okay.
New York. So by no means do I want this to be taken accusational or negative or anything. I'm just here because this is my opportunity to voice my concerns.
Right,
So I've lived here for this month to be 22 years. Forgive me for being here, I've never done this before. So I obtained a copy of the building request, and we brought up a couple of my exact concerns. So, get my papers. One of the things that was noted was whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or the detriment to nearby properties will be created by the grading of the area variance. So no, this is in the rear of my yard, which backs to a farm field. There are no other barns, other buildings or area. That's okay, there is nothing back there. But then the number 4 says whether the proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district. And again, no, it will not affect the surrounding properties. So then you brought up the picture that's here. The depiction of this picture is well in front of the natural swale that's there, which was put in back in, I think, around 1970 or so when the subdivision was put in. It was a requirement for the drainage. And that swale goes through that property. And I have submitted my written statement, which you all should have a copy of, as well as multiple photos. They go back to, I think, 2009, since I've lived there, which I lived there before that one, that show all of conditions, different rainstorms, and the adverse effects that I've experienced with this drainage. I've had Steve Boss out there at least a couple times, and he's acknowledged the issue. I supported him for different positions that he's run for and been involved with, and he understands the nature of this area. Gave me some more history of it than I did. But the depiction of this barn in the location is not nearly the size of it. It will, if you're asking for a 10-foot variance or 5-foot variance, this picture depicts it well ahead of the back of the property. So it's pretty deceiving. I haven't surveyed it. I'm not a civil engineer, but there is that. So you brought up some other points that are very much in Warner, you brought it to a T. What I was kind of hoping to hear. So here's my statement for the record. Proposed construction at 2900 Church Road and drainage impact on 2924 Church Road. My name is Glenn Boshoot. I am the owner, resident of 2924 Church Road, Hamlin, New York. I am asking the board not to approve any variance or construction at 2900 Church Road that could obstruct or reduce the natural drainage swale that runs through the rear of these properties until the drainage consequences have been properly evaluated. There is existing natural swale through this area that carries stormwater. A barn and driveway were previously constructed on the property immediately next to mine. That construction is to appear to have interfered with this natural drainage route. Since then, my backyard routinely holds substantial amounts of water whenever we receive significant rain. There are plenty of pictures of that illustrating. This is not a hypothetical concern. The flooding is already occurring. The water has become serious enough that I've had to add soil to the surroundings of my back of the house in an effort to keep water away from my foundation. The natural drainage route is further restricted by another driveway, filling, grading, or other construction at 2900 Road. I'm very concerned that additional backup water could reach my house and flood my basement. I've already spent almost $1,000 on redoing my sump pump, putting in a heavier duty sump pump to keep up with the water, which I've been woken up by sump pump alarms because my sump pump wasn't keeping up with it. Apologies, I'm really nervous. I'm not opposed to my neighbor having a barn simply because it's a barn. I totally support it. If I had the means, I would put one up myself. My concern is where it is placed, how the property is graded, how any driveway or fill is constructed, and whether the existing natural swale will remain capable of carrying the water that presently passes through this area. I respectfully request that before any approval is granted, the town require a qualified engineer to determine, 1, the location and capacity of the existing natural swale, how the proposed barn, driveway grading, and fill will affect that drainage, whether the project will cause additional water to back off onto 2924 Church Road, and what swale, culvert, drainage, easement, or other improvements are necessary to ensure that the existing drainage flow is not reduced. I also request that any approval contain written conditions requiring the drainage route to remain open and prohibiting any grading, fill, driveway, or structure from increasing flooding on neighboring properties. I understand that there are employment and familiar friendships involving people connected with this properties and the town. I'm not accusing anyone of improper conduct. I'm simply requesting that this application receive the same independent engineering, zoning, and drainage review that would be required for any other property owner. Please make this statement along with photographs and maps I provided showing the existing drainage conditions part of the official record for this application. Because flooding is already occurring at my property, I respectfully thank and ask that the board not approve this application until the drainage issue has been fully investigated and the town is satisfied that the project will not make existing flooding at 2924 Church Road. Thank you.
Now, what you just read has been given to us
Yes.
in the pictures and all.
Yes, sir.
So that is part of the public hearing and the minutes.
Thank
Is there anyone else here wishing to speak for or against this request? Okay, hearing none, I will close the public hearing.
Yeah. So, just, I understand your concerns. This is the zoning board of appeals. They're only here to grant relief from zoning code.
you.
They can, however, if they choose to grant this variance, put conditions on it. And those conditions can be that it has to go to the planning board. It has to have a site plan. It has to have all those other things to make sure that the drainage flows, okay? They can, this board cannot control those things. They can only grant relief from the town.
I was made aware of that when I obtained a copy of the request.
Okay.
And there was no town board hearing for this, to my understanding, to have. So
No, it would be the planning board
the
that would
planning
do
board,
that.
right, so
Yes.
that should have happened several weeks ago before this meeting, but it did not happen.
We don't,
Not necessarily.
not, if it was a house and something like that, this is a barn, they don't usually go to the planning board. But in this case, the board could grant a variance, they don't have to, I'm just saying they could,
Do I have,
but they could put conditions on it, and those conditions could be, they have to submit a site plan to the planning board. They have to have the drainage, done by an engineer, so that it, before they can get that reviewed. Okay,
is there somebody else, and I'm, yeah, I'm not obstructing the desire to get the farm there. It's purely my concern for my and my neighbors' properties that I'm here for.
This pack and all these photos were not even brought to us until late this afternoon.
Right, I got the notice on Thursday that this was occurring.
Right,
I spent the weekend taking care of it and I showed up today. So
right.
I understand you didn't have any appetite to review it, nor did I.
and I don't speak for the board, I'm just telling you what they can and can't do, okay?
So
Yep.
this is just my opportunity to say what I can say.
Okay, some questions, input from the board?
Where does the water flow there? West to east, west to east?
West to north.
It's a flat area.
So you get this part going off.
It's gonna drain slowly. I mean, I'm used to that at my house, it drains slowly when it's flat. I guess my question is, the barn that's 2 doors technically, was that on a variance or is that just a? or is that- That's just a stone driveway on that one? You know?
Yes, it's mine. That's mine. It's only stone driveway.
Okay, just curious.
Technically, the barn moves south, doesn't impede the drainage, doesn't affect the swale.
Good, see that?
Overall, the yards are off. I mean, most of us that live in Hamlin deal with massive water issues. Certainly in springtime and snow melt off and, it takes us a while to be able to mow all of our lawns here in Hamlin. And certainly not on purpose, but my thought is if the barn moves to the south, and we're no longer impeding on the swell, how much do we have to say?
Yeah,
Maybe we still can,
I'm no engineer,
right?
far from it.
Correct.
But you still have to remember he's gonna put a driveway back to that home. How is that gonna impede the swale? Right.
But
But which way is south, which way is north?
Oh,
north,
that's my.
Oh, so if you move it south and, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I thought
so
south
that's
was
my
that way,
point,
yeah.
if this barn
Yeah, you see it,
moves
bring it.
south,
Yeah,
Is
we're no
that,
longer impeding.
yeah, but that, what is,
All of this is awful drainage,
Yeah.
all of this property.
where's the swale? Because that looks
Right
like
here.
a huge water pond right
Right
there
here.
in front of the barn.
No, that's a tree.
Oh, that's a tree? Oh, pretty tree.
It's a reflection of a tree.
Okay, oh, okay, all right,
Off the water that's like.
Yeah. That's shade.
okay. Yeah, no.
So if it
forward,
moves,
Then, yeah, you wouldn't be
you're not
impeding the
impeding
swale.
on the swell.
Mhm.
see that'd be the minimum I'd like to see happen, is it move forward. That's part of why I asked you, how come you want it back so far? I get you want your backyard, but, because, I don't remember which neighbor it was, but we worked in this area before, so we're familiar with it there.
There's no easements or anything for
No.
water, right?
That's,
And this is
I'm
just,
gonna-
this is a builder's.
well, back then, they didn't
Right.
put easements over
I know.
these things, which they should have, because no one ever maintains them. And they should be, put an easement over there.
You don't know, it looks like it's not helping the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Then you create back line. It's at the end of the lot line. It drains through the-
Where I originally wanted the barn, I think we were at 20 feet or so.
I-
But if it's gonna be south of that swell, it's gonna be 60 feet or more.
I had it here.
I mean, the board can also adjourn it for more information if you want also.
And on your, instrument survey map, can you show me approximately where it is now? Cause you got it in the picture, but on this, where would it be?
That's where we're right into that.
Right,
That swell is probably maybe 20 feet off of that property line.
Maureen, did you see the instrument survey?
Yep, I've seen that. yeah.
Okay. Um, it- In my mind, the minimum's gotta come south.
If she's talking lawsuits and engineering and stuff like that, I will move it south. That's not a problem. Just sounds like more headache.
But
Obviously, we're gonna bring in Phil to the barn. and that's where you put me in.
So, yeah. mess.
It looks like it's up in back, yeah, it looks like that's the barn he's talking about.
Like, where's the drainage pipe?
That swale was there before I put my barn in. Like I said, I looked the houses over. That swale never moved water.
Could you state,
Harry Scores, 2916 Church Road. Glenn's my neighbor, likes 2 houses down from me.
Okay.
I'm that barn right in the middle. That swale is 68 feet in front of my barn. It runs
Is there-
backwards at a pretty hard angle.
Yeah.
From one
we
side of the
can-
property to
we
the
can see
other.
that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Is
that's
there-
right where it exited his property before.
Is there a pipe underneath that driveway?
There's an 8-inch tile under there, and I'm going to go to a 12-inch tile to help out the situation we currently have, but that doesn't help out issues further down the line.
Right.
Right, you're uphill.
That would be a big help. And Harry and I have had many conversations about it. And to maintain that would be really helpful if they could just continue to go through. Because the swale has not been maintained over the last 20 years. Some people have built them. So I'm kind of, Harry and I are actually the low people in the area.
Yeah, it does. It kind of goes up.
It's stressful. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a bad neighbor, you know, I got great neighbors. Great.
you are figuring down there, how about some 30-foot?
I just don't know what the solution is. Yeah, I mean, I understand water problems, trust me, you know, I'm the low man where I live too, same problem, it takes a while to leave and,
My yard is small.
yeah, so I understand everybody's complaints and, yeah, sometimes the water does not leave. And you do get concerned, and I've had it up to my foundation too, so I understand your concern and your problems. I'm just, it's hard to fix a problem that sounds like it's really full of screw.
Right, but we don't wanna,
Right, we don't wanna create more problems.
yes,
Right.
so I mean,
Right now, I'm feeling that we should maybe adjourn it, get some more information first, and then come back to the next meeting. That's my feeling. I don't know if anybody else feels that way at this moment, but that's. Motion to table it until the next meeting in September.
September 21st.
21st. At 7 p.m.
Cheryl, do you have the, map, the subdivision map in your office on this? Is it down in Church Road, or
I have not seen it, but I heard it before I first in the morning.
just so we can see where that swale's supposed to be and what's supposed to be on it?
Okay, there's been a motion by Jonathan Vogler, seconded by Rob Westcott to, table a decision on the variance request for 2900 Church Road until September 21st. What are we looking for during this time? Can you put that in the motion?
Yeah, we're gonna table it to, obtain more information on the drainage and elevations and see how this barn could affect, or if there's, you know, how the drainage comes.
Is that something that we have to do, or is that something that you as a board is going to find out?
Cheryl's gonna look for the subdivision.
Not the subdivision there, first thing in the morning.
Okay.
I definitely want to put boots on the ground too and really see.
Yeah,
It's
take-
tough to visualize
Oh,
it
sure.
obviously from a piece of paper too. It could be a much more extreme, you know, elevation than what we're seeing here too, you know, but.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, in my mind, it's a question of at the minimum, moving the barn south,
Yep, right,
and at the maximum, referring it to the planning board.
right.
I think we should do our due diligence and at least look at it from our side before we
Right.
say yay or send it to the planning board. You know, that way we dotted all our i's across all of the t's.
How far south could you move it? Or would you want to move it?
The bare.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much. Mike,
You-
how
it's-
far were
you
you
have it
from the
currently
east side
staked,
property
right?
line?
Yeah, it was all staked
It's all
out
staked
there,
out.
It's all
so,
state.
because that's why I was,
Yeah.
well, we have a motion's been made by Jonathan Vogler, seconded by Rob Westcott, to table this decision until September 21st. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Lot.
Okay.
Mike Ellsworth.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Rob Westcott.
Okay, motion carried. And obviously, at 10:30 on the Saturday before, we do our inspections. So we, literally be out there to literally view it. But in the meantime, you're gonna,
For the subdivision.
right,
But they're all letting you get a copy of everybody, so they can all view it.
right.
I guess I'll ask the question now for the homeowner. Now, if you're not home that day, do you have a problem if we start wandering around your backyard at all?
Open door policy, you can come whenever you want.
Okay, all right, well,
Your cell phone number's the number that's on?
Yep.
Okay,
okay, all right.
chances are I'll probably.
I just wanna make sure, you know, sometimes we show up, there's nobody there, and that's the
Yeah.
one, is dogs chasing us or worse.
Those would be my dogs next door. They'll bark at you, but they're friendly.
I just gotta be faster than somebody, all right? That's all that matters.
We just don't want, we don't want to be Smith and Wesson, but okay.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, our next public hearing, Scott Mesmer.
I would also like to request a variance to build a barn, 32 by 40 on my property at 1277 North Hamlin Road. Be up to 16 feet high, so I think that's just above the 50-foot allowable height.
Now, when we look, you listen, one of the buildings to be removed.
Yeah, I have a small shed there that I'm getting rid of. So,
Okay.
So that'll be, actually, it'll be moved further back into the property if you look on that picture there, it'll end up being roughly 800 feet further back from where it is. The color photo, you can see some of the gardens I have in the back. You can see that blue spot down there at the bottom.
Way in the back, way in the back.
Way down there, there's a blue, that's my wood pile, it'll actually be right next to it.
Oh,
So,
Okay, so you're saying this is your,
that's where that shed is going to go.
okay,
And then the barn will move in just behind where the shed is currently.
questions from the board?
You said something about height.
Well, it's 12-foot walls, I thought there, I read that you don't fit anything higher than 15 feet, you have to get variance for that. So
It's
I,
side setbacks.
oh, I'm good all the way
Yeah,
around.
they're like being in there for variances
I thought the height
for having the full barn.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not near the property line, it's about 30 feet, so.
I think it's 25 feet for the walls, right?
Oh,
The big,
Yeah.
big.
12-foot walls, so it'd be about 16 feet tall.
No questions.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone here wishing to speak for or against this proposal, please state your name and address. Nobody? Okay, I see people, so I'm double checking. Okay, I declare this public hearing closed. Okay, board. This one, when I looked, I figured no problem, but
Yeah, it seems okay. I mean, go with the shed was, so, in that area.
Okay, I'll read the 5 criteria here that, we use to make our determination. We consider the benefit to the applicant if the variance is granted against the detriment of health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community. These 5 questions provide balance in the interest of the applicant and those of the neighborhood and the community. We must consider these 5 factors. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some feasible method other than the area variance. Not thing like that. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. No. Whether the proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the zoning board of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. He wants it, so it's self-created. Okay, we went over the 5 criteria. Do we have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion for Scott Nesber, seeking relief from Town Code 520-12A, 4A, and add an accessory structure to the property located at 1277 North Hammond Road. Code only allows garages and carports. Proposed site is 32 by 40 by 16. All the paperwork's been submitted.
And we went over the 5 criteria. Second? Okay, a motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Rob Westcott, to grant the area variance to Scott Messmer for property at 1277 North Hammond Road. Would the clerk please poll vote?
Carl Lot, Rodney Ellsworth,
Aye.
Jeff Vogler,
Aye.
Rob Westcott.
Motion's carried. Talk to the building department about necessary permits and everything.
Yep.
Okay, sometimes people get anxious, so.
Nope, no, I've talked to Cheryl several times, I probably asked her 20 times in 2 weeks. So, we know each other well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have, the CHOP request, I don't wanna mispronounce this name, could
Sue Lynn.
Sue Lynn Richard, okay, could you present to the board what you'd like to do?
Sure. So I live at 6330 Shore Acres Drive. I'm one of those lucky ones on the lake. I acquired the house, about 5 years ago. And, there was a corrugated round drainage pipe from the sump pump in the crawl space, that goes out, towards the shoreline. It does run alongside the house. It's collapsed. And during the winter, we had such a terrible freeze that, it backed up the sump pump and of course burned it out and flooded out the crawl space. So, done a lot of investigation on it. It looks as though I can get out about 44 foot before it collapses down to a pancake. It's still somewhat draining, but in the meantime, this was in the middle of winter, so had to, divert it to the above ground and just kind of keep an eye on it for the winter. Had it looked at a couple times, had it cameraed a couple times. It's hard to tell, where it goes after 44 foot. Looking to just kind of keep it right where it is. And just get it more into the landscaping rocks, because it would be really difficult to, bring it into where the rock wall is. That's obviously, those rocks can only be moved if a barge comes in. I'm a retired nurse and I can't really afford a barge to come in and move those rocks, so I think I'd like to just end the pipe a little bit early in the landscape rocks prior to the break off. So it seems as though that's about at somewhere between 30 and 45 out from the side of the house. So I contacted a plumber, they've come out, and of course, a week ago tomorrow have submitted all permits, applications to the DEC and all the other applicable people who seem to want a permit for this little 3-inch pipe that I just made.
Yeah, schedule 40. Questions from the board?
None from this side.
No.
Input.
All the info.
From the building department?
I do have, all the permit information going to the clock. She is the LWRP.
Right.
Because it is in the LWRP. But it is a pre-existing,
Yeah.
And, we do have a portion of the code in the building enforcement, and it is a item that was previously working properly, that they would not need a permit to take care of this. So,
A building permit? Or is it?
building, and they're not in building.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's where she falls, but I still wanted her to go to the LWRP and make application to DEC, just to see what they have to say. That's where we are.
Hard to know how long the DEC will take.
So,
Where's the output gonna be? Is it gonna be in the middle of your yard so the drainage doesn't go into your neighbors, or?
It's going to, so my neighbor actually is a little bit lower than I am. So,
Here, you wanna use this?
Just where the pipe will come out? Again, we wanna be careful of the neighbors and not have.
Does that work?
it does too, but, so the pipe goes alongside the foundation here. This is all the neighbor's yard. He's lower than I am, and the pipe will actually kind of curve. You can see these 3 bushes here. It's gonna curve and go right up here into the small number 2 rocks that are just for landscape. So it'll be right about here where this little circle is,
As far as they can go until they hit.
until we hit that.
No, that's
Break
fine.
wall.
I thought it was way over here. That's what I was looking at.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
It's gonna go right, just about right there, so it's gonna kind of curve right in there, but who knows? Yeah, because his is really pretty low, so if I don't do this, it's gonna add to his, and he's already pumping water out. I bet.
Yeah.
So when you show us.
Sure. Yeah, so. This is the side of the house where it comes out. And it's very curved. Up to where there's landscape rock. All these are just way too big. There's like one that they maybe will have to move to get in there to get a good dig so they can see the end of the pipe to put a cage over it so that nothing goes back into it, but,
Good idea, small.
yeah, and it seems to have, in that pancake, there's a little bit of debris in there from before, so I think as things,
And the lake gets high and it goes.
and it
flushes
just
back in.
flushes back in, and, yeah, it's amazing, because I end up with some gravel on my deck sometimes, so it's obviously that in the scenery. Unless you guys have any other great ideas of how to avoid this massive dig.
No. I got ideas, but they'll be worse, so.
Okay, board,
I'll make a motion to approve, Sue Lynn Richards at 6330 Shore Acres Drive for coastal erosion hazard area permit, for replacement of her sump pump drain, that was collapsed. She's going to be replacing with a 3-inch, PVC Schedule 40 pipe. The location's gonna be on some property off the front by the lake, and we have waiting on information from LWRP DEC. So, so approved.
okay, a motion's been made by Jonathan Vogler, seconded by Carl Roth to grant Sue Lynn Richards, 6330 Shore Acres. Let's see how, replace a sump pump drain with 3-inch Schedule 40 pipe. With clerk, please poll vote.
Carl Roth.
Aye.
Rafi Ellsworth,
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler,
Aye.
Rob Briscoe.
Motion's carried. Okay, anything from our legal department?
Quiet, we're good.
Anything from the building department?
We're still very busy. And roosters. We've been doing this, we all want to be, but no, everything's going well. I think, department has written like 221 permits so far this year, but everything's going well.
Okay, town board report?
So the report, we actually approved the solar law. Still working on the junk law, it should be. We're having a public hearing on both those coming up.
Is that the next meeting?
Okay, and I, this isn't a public hearing or anything, but we had a larger audience than usual. I think all of you, but 2 of you maybe, was there any input from the audience?
The sound, the quality.
Okay.
I'm just wondering where you're going with that.
Well, I wanted to make sure everyone,
The studio audience is doing fine.
barring no further business, a motion, please.
Second.
All of us say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Right.
Um,
Going off script, you can't watch.
and our biggest project's gonna be researching more on, yeah, I wanna wander around that yard more.
Let's go.